Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number 59 of the TEW9 Challenge Run. We are here for the Auckland Assault Premium Live event, the first ever WWE Premium Live event in New Zealand. And our main event tonight will be the Women's World Championship on the line. Dakota Kai defends in her home country, in her hometown, against Charlotte Flair in a submission match. And we also have a lot more on the show, including a fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Xavier Woods, Swerve Scott, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. We have a WWE Championship match, AJ Styles against Montez Ford. We have ECW World Championship match, Adam Cole against Warden. ECW Women's Championship match, Florence against Blair Davenport. Nova Nebula defends her WWE Women's Championship in an open challenge. We have Jay White defending the Intercontinental Championship, also in his home country, against Dijak. We have Triple Threat Women's Tag Team match, Queendom Omega, The Fierce and the Fabulous, both challenging Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. And our opening contest, which will pit Roman Reigns and the Usos against the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, the ECW Tag Team Champions. So without any more further ado, we had our single branded pay-per-views, and, I probably shouldn't say this myself, but those, September and October months were mainly just me sowing the seeds for October and beyond. So now they're out of the way. We're now at this first tri-branded pay-per-view. Every other pay-per-view until WrestleMania is all three brands. And they hit different. But without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. 88 rated pre-show match. Yeah, this may have to be the match that I run back on the Big Velocity in a couple of weeks. But Angel Garza did win the Gauntlet match last night on Velocity to earn the shot at Cedric Alexander's Cruiserweight Championship here on the kickoff show. And Cedric, the Cruiserweight Champion, does retain the championship. Prime Alexander, the Cruiserweight Classic, cheats to pick up the win over Angel Garza in 15-17. You see, when I was booking this match in before the show, I picked Tainted Finish knowing that there was a good chance this match would bang and I could get an excuse to run it again. So yeah, and it did, so we may. But obviously I don't want to go straight away, we will definitely run this back, because then that ruins part of the fun. 81 for Cedric, 91 for Angel Garza. Holy shit. Okay, nice one, Garza. Auckland Hype, running down our biggest matches on the show, including the WWE Championship match, the Women's World Championship match, Roman Reigns' match, Jay White's match, and yeah, the first theme we hear in Auckland on the main show is Roman Reigns' music hits, and out he comes by himself. We're doing the entrance that I think I did first, and then... I did it with the Usos at SummerSlam. I was going to say, when did I do it first? Yeah, when they came out separately. I did that first, and then they did it in real life for War Games this year, and now I'm going to do it again here. So yeah, Roman Reigns comes out first onto the stage. He works his way down to the ring. Then Jimmy Uso comes out by himself, and then Jey Uso finally comes out by himself, yeeting in Auckland. He gets into the ring, solo, his music hits, and him and the Tongans come out alone, or together even. Our first match, the crowd's buzzing, Bloodline versus Bloodline. Let's see who's got this. Okay, 84. For a match with Tonga Loa in it, I know that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are in it, and Jesus Christ, apparently Solo as well. Because I'm looking at the... Okay, I've seen something very, very funny with the ratings. I'm going to mention in a minute. So the match gets an 84. It goes 21-52. So Jimmy Uso gets an 88. Jey Uso gets a 96. Roman Reigns gets an 89, so only 1 point higher than Jimmy. Tonga Loa 52, of course. Tama Tonga 70. And Solo gets a 91. So, Solo Sikoa outscores Roman Reigns in this match. I guess we do know who the real tribal chief is. But yeah, a large portion of this match is basically the same as the one they had in Crown Jewel in real life. Except there's a little bit more tension between Jay and Roman specifically. Like, Jay's still not cool with Jimmy, but he's more cool with Jimmy than he is with Roman. So him and of course, it's just Jimmy and Jay teaming up. You know, they can want to rip each other's throats out, but it's still, you know, like riding a bike. Just comes just second hand to them. But yeah, there is a little bit of tension between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Roman tags himself, or he does the thing where like he offers his hand out when Jay's in the ring, and whichever member of the Bloodlines in the ring is like pointing at Roman, going, "Come on, then bring him in." And Jay does do the tag, and Roman steps into the ring. He runs roughshot on Tama Tonga. He runs roughshot on Tonga Loa. Solo comes in. Him and Solo exchange punches. He hits a big Samoan drop on Solo. He hits a Superman punch on Solo. He backs into the corner. He gives a big ooh-ah, and Solo rolls to the outside. And then Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso both fly in. They do stereo dives to the outside on all three of the Solo's Bloodline members on the outside. And Solo does eventually get back into the ring. Him and Roman continue to slug it out. When the Tongans and the Usos are brawling around the ringside area. And the referee gets distracted, looking at them. And Solo goes to the outside as well, and he's like trying to get Solo back into the ring. And Roman's like watching on what's going on the outside of the ring. When from behind Roman Reigns, a chair is stuck in his back. From a big man named Tala Tonga. He steps out of the ring. Michael Cole's on commentary screaming. Actually, I think it's ECW, so it'll be Moro. He goes, "Oh, Mamma Mia, that's Tala Tonga. He's the younger brother of the Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, Nigel." And then Solo, once the referee's adequately distracted and Tala Tonga is out of the way, slides back into the ring. And he sticks 3 Samoan spikes into the throat of Roman Reigns. And he pins the OTC in the middle of the ring. So, the way this game works is that Roman Reigns didn't complain about doing the job here because he's related to Solo. So the game saw that and thought, yeah, Roman would happily put his cousin over. But I kept everybody on that team strong anyway because even though Solo would have pinned Roman, which would have been a popularity hit that I wouldn't want Roman to take anyway, I could have lived with it. But Tonga Loa's on this team, and the game factors that in when adjusting the popularity swings for results like this. So if I didn't keep him strong and Jay and Jimmy strong, they probably would have tanked. Roman's popularity would have dropped by 7 to try and boost Tonga Loa up, and I wasn't having it. So yeah. But the 84 is still pretty good considering the Tongans are in this match. But yeah, the new Bloodline stand tall. Their newest member, speaking of tall, Tola Tonga, the big long Tonga, bigger Tonga, longer Tonga, Tola Tonga, all sorts of height-based nicknames for the big man. He takes the stand behind Solo, and he raises his wands up into the sky. Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa either side of him with the wands. Solo sticking the ones up too. And now all of a sudden Roman and the Usos are outnumbered again. I've gone with the name Tala Tonga because that seems to be what they'll be calling him in real life, but if he debuts... I was sort of hoping that he'd have debuted in real life with his actual name by the time I got here, but they're taking their sweet-ass time debuting him. But if he comes in as something else or stays as Hikuleo, I will change it back. But for now, I'm assuming he's going to be Tala Tonga, so that's his name. We then cut backstage. Kayla Braxton is interviewing her guest. She's the number 1 contender for the Women's World Championship tonight, Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte walks into frame. There goes Charlotte tonight. Big premium live event, main event. First time ever in Auckland, you got the chance to become the Women's World Champion. Charlotte goes, WWE throughout the years has been built of Cinderella stories, like the one we're witnessing right now with Dakota Kai. when Dakota Kai became Women's World Champion, it was a Cinderella story. But over the last few months, Kayla, it would be naive of me to say that she didn't deserve to be champion. She beaten some of the very best women here on SmackDown. She beat Io. She beat Ember Moon. She fended forward off Queendom, for a while. And hell, she beat me at Bad Blood. A lot of people would get caught off guard with that package pin that Dakota hit me with. And they'd make excuses about it, but Dakota, she beat me fair and square at Bad Blood. But tonight's a whole different story, because tonight I'm not wrestling Dakota Kai 100%. Tonight I'm wrestling a world champion with one bum-ass knee. Now, her knee's always been bum-ass, because of the amount of time she's torn the thing. And it's a submission match. Dakota can't make me tap out. Only 2 or 3 women, 2 definitely, but I think there probably is a third that I'm forgetting about, have made me submit in my entire career here in WWE. And Dakota, you're not one. You never will be one. I can determine who the one is. And it's not you. Jay White, big hometown intro. Well, actually, home country. I don't know if he's from Auckland. I think they announced him as Wellington. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, Jay White. I sort of did do Dijak dirty here, because Jay White will be presented as the babyface in this match, because obviously the crowd will be on his side. But yes, it's Jay White and Dijak for the Intercontinental Championship. Gets a 90. We take those all the way. Yeah. And Jay White does pick up the win here. Probably still by some, I don't want to say dirty, but, clean enough where it wouldn't be called a tainted pin, but, say, Dijak's on the outside of the ring, as he goes to enter the ring, Jay White, ties his leg up on the ropes or something, and, attacks his knee while it's, tore up on the ropes, and then when Dijak gets him up for Feast Your Eyes, his knee buckles, and then Jay White drops him with a Blade Runner and pins him. Yeah, 94 for Jay White, 88 for Dijak. This division right now is on fire. The Intercontinental Championship scene and everything around it on Raw is, doing some really good stuff. The countless Jay White matches with Wes Lee and LA Knight, now Dijak, and you've got Trick Williams sort of lingering around there, Axiom, Chad Gable, maybe even Bronson Steiner, Just a whole bunch of people. I got a comment that says Jay White is the most wanted man on Raw right now, and he sure is. He's under fire from all angles, but he comes out on top again tonight with a performance of a 94. There's been a lot of Jay White slander online recently, but I'll always be a fan of him. I know. There's something about him I really like. Now, Becky Stardust is in New Zealand again. She was here last night. She sort of slandered the country. But she still gets a big pop because, this is the issue you have when you've got a character like this where you low-key want it. No, at this point, I've just accepted that she's a face. It happens. But yeah, Becky and Lyra defend in a triple threat tag team match against Queendom Omega's Regina Del Mondo and The Fierce and the Fabulous. 84, so that's as good as the opening Bloodline match. We'll take that. Holy fucking shit, Julia. Jesus Christ. But yes, the numbers game was not enough to wrestle the championships away from our favourite women's tag team champion. Becky pins Yoko Uehara with the manhandle slam to make defense number 3 of the women's tag team titles. One thing I do want to mention is that is, I believe, the first pinfall defeat that a member of Queendom Omega has taken since they formed. I know, I think it was these two specifically lost up by DQ to Ember Moon and Kyrie a couple of weeks ago. But if you saw SmackDown, there was a very cryptic tease that somebody was coming to see them next week after weeks of cryptic vignettes about burning a castle down. And, you can tell that's playing on the mind of Yoko and Julia. And even Cammy, because Cammy will be out there with them. So, that's their quote-unquote excuse. But also, more importantly than that, Shayna and Carmella didn't eat the pin here tonight. After weeks of them saying that they wanted to, get the championships back on a real women's tag team, They failed, but not by their own tuition. So who knows what the future's in store for them, but here we are, still the women's tag team champions. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch defeated Regina Del Mondo in the first. Becky Lynch makes defense number 3 of the women. So that should say makes, but yes. Becky Lynch makes defense number 3 of the women's tag team titles. We then cut backstage. Jimmy and Jay, they're in the Bloodline locker room, throwing water bottles around in angles. What the hell, man? How many of these damn Tongans are there? He goes, I don't care how many there are, Oos. There's 3 of us. There could be 1,000,000 of them. Our bloodline runs deeper. We, the ones, they not the ones. But right now, we do find our backs up against the wall. And then Roman's all lifts his head up. He turns to his left. He's like, wise man. And then Heyman appears on screen. He's been there the whole time. We just weren't showing him. Yes, my tribal chief. And he's, make the call. And Heyman's like, are you sure, my tribal chief? Are you sure you want to trust that guy? And Roman goes, he's family. At this point, we've got no choice. And Heyman's like, yes, my tribal chief. So I wonder who that was. Blair Davenport is... She's getting her entrance jacket on. She's, getting ready to go out for her match coming up next. But she's stopped by Ruby Riott. She goes, wow, big night, huh? New Zealand. One of your home countries. And here you are. A chance to become the ECW Women's Champion. A match you don't deserve, because you just lost a $1 million championship match. But you're so lucky that your best friend is the Women's Champion. So she gave you this opportunity to perform in front of your friends and your family here in New Zealand. Now, it's a big night. I sure wouldn't want to blow it up. Because win, lose, or draw, Florence, she's going to have excuses. Do you? Do you really think that you've got what it takes to go out there tonight and become Women's Champion? Or are you what Florence knows you are and what the rest of the world knows you are? A pity challenger. And then Blair's like, can you fuck off? Ruby's like, oh, my bad. I just want to give you some motivational words ahead of your title match. Good luck out there. Another 90. Yeah, this show's looking to fucking wipe the floor with bad blood. Holy shit. Every single match on this show has been better than, anything from Bad Blood. But yes, Blair Davenport gives it her all. But Florence does pick up the win with a rain flow in 12:59 to make defense number 8 of the ECW Women's title. 93 for her, 89 for Blair Davenport. Didn't realize she was scoring that high. So, Jesus Christ, okay. But yes, Florence retains the ECW Women's Championship here in Auckland. And after the match, she pulls Blair to her feet. Blair's looking very visibly frustrated. And Florence offers her hand out. Her and Blair Davenport shake hands. And the crowd is cheering Blair on. Florence leaves the ring, lets Blair get her moment as the fans applaud her for her efforts. And she looks around. You can tell she is appreciative of the fans, cheering her on. But, something ain't right in them eyes. 87. It's the World Tag Team Championship match up next. And it is our heroes, Path of the Dragon, retaining the championships against the Grand Jury's Damian Priest and Buddy Bloody Murphy. Humberto pinning Buddy Murphy apparently with a moonsault to make defense number 4 of the World Tag Team Championships. 86 for Humberto. 89 for Tozawa, 74 for Buddy, and a 91 for Damian Priest. Hype video, Fatal 4-Way. Let's hope to fucking God this is better than the match at Bad Blood. Xavier Woods, that son of a bitch. Sorry, he's not a son of a bitch in this timeline. He's still nice and good in this timeline. He faces off against Swerve Scott, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. His back's against the wall. But can he walk out still the champion, or will we have a new champion? Drew McIntyre and Swerve, of course, have held the belt before. Bobby Lashley never been world champion in this world. Who leaves Auckland as the world heavyweight champion? 92. That is more fucking like it. Okay. Swerve still did the carrying, though. So, maybe he should have won. I'm getting ahead of myself there, but it's sure. Swerve gets a 95, 82 for Lashley, 80 for Drew, 81 for Woods. So, yes. This match goes 19 and 30, and it's just balls to the wall mayhem in my mind. Yeah. I know Xavier Woods is a small guy, and there's three big guys. Swerve's not big, but he's bigger than Xavier Woods. He can throw down with the big guys, basically. So, yeah. And Bobby Lashley, he's going on a tear. Him and Swerve get into a brawl. Him and Woods and Drew McIntyre get into a brawl on the outside. You know, we're picking off our chosen enemies. And we get back into the ring. You know, Bobby Lashley does that corner post running move on the outside to Swerve. And Drew McIntyre hits a claymore on Xavier Woods on the outside. And then they both roll into the ring. And then Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre are face to face. Now, they've sort of had a common enemy recently. And Drew said made it perfectly clear, you know, they're allies until tonight. They start throwing hands. And they get into a big, meaty brawl in the middle of the ring. You know, they close on each other, neither man budges. They close on each other, neither man budges again. And then Bobby Lashley ducks underneath a clothesline. He goes for a spear on Drew McIntyre. But Drew claymores him as he goes for a spear. And Drew McIntyre goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Swerve flies in. He hits a Swerve stomp on Drew. Cover. 1, 2, Drew McIntyre kicks out. And Swerve's getting all frustrated. He backs up into the corner. He goes for another house call. And then Bobby Lashley gets to his feet. He eats the house call. Like he falls. And then it's Drew McIntyre and Swerve face to face. And Swerve sort of like laughs at Drew. Laughs in his face. And like shoves him. And Drew just... he gets angry and goes, "You son of a bitch. You've cost me this championship too many times. Not tonight. Tonight won't be a night that I lose this title, huh? I've got my eyes locked on that championship, and there's nothing you can do to make me not take it home." And then Xavier Woods comes in from behind. You know, he like pushes Drew McIntyre against Swerve. Swerve falls to the outside, and Drew counters it in the Woods. Like, the vision is like he grabs Drew from behind. He like pushes him into Swerve. Swerve falls to the outside. And then, like, he O'Connor roll into, a roll-up as Drew McIntyre bounces off the ropes. And he gets the win. So Xavier Woods gets another pinfall over Drew McIntyre. The same Drew McIntyre who 10 seconds ago said his eyes was on the prize and he wasn't going to let it slip away again. And he did just that. And he's furious with... Well, he should be furious with himself. But he looks across at Swerve. And Swerve's on the outside. He's like, what the hell? What happened to having your eyes on the prize, huh? What happened to having your eyes on the prize? And Drew just sits there glaring at him, you know. He's seething. Just shaking his head as he looks at Swerve. Bobby Lashley, you know, also, you know, getting to his feet on the outside. And if he goes, "What's happened, Almighty? You know, this was supposed to be our night. You were supposed to leave here World Heavyweight Champion, but you're not. Okay, that guy's still the World Heavyweight Champion. You can beat that guy's ass any day. This ain't over, Bobby. The Hurt Business don't accept losses. We don't lose. We hurt people." Nova comes out. And she's got her championship around her waist. She's got a microphone in her hand. She goes, "Well, it almost seemed like the people of New Zealand weren't going to get to see a WWE Women's Championship match." And Stokely, I keep calling him Stokely, Malcolm Bivens seemed so happy with that. But luckily for him, I haven't got to defend against Jade Cargill if Jade Cargill can't walk. So, I issue an open challenge to anybody out there who thinks they've got what it takes to step up to me to become the WWE Women's Champion. Out comes Jada Parker from NXT. She makes her way down to the ring. She swaggers her way down to the ring and she gets into the ring and Fake goes face to face with Nova. And Nova sort of like looks at her confused and she goes, "Can I help you?" And then Jada snatches the microphone out of her hand. She goes, "Nah, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. I can see it in your eyes. You're gonna come out here disrespecting me. You're gonna ask me, who the hell are you? You know damn well who the hell I am. But in case these people around here aren't familiar, my name's Jada Parker. And I'm gonna be the next WWE Women's Champion. And Nova goes, your big debut, is it? Here on Monday Night Raw? At this big premium live event here in Auckland? And you think you've got what it takes to defeat me for the Women's Championship? Sure, go ahead, take a swing. And Jada Parker, she fucking stiffs this slap on Nova Nebula. Like, think John Cena slapping Kurt Angle, but like, probably even more vicious. Like, an even more hard-hitting slap. Then Jada's like, mouthing off, going, oh yeah, let's go, okay? You want some now, don't you, huh? And Nova's getting all angry. She, like, takes her jacket off or whatever. And then the match does start. Gets a 76, which I'll take, considering Jada is, you know, new. She doesn't win, but she gives it a good go. Yeah. Next is number 3 of the women's title. 87 for Nova, 25 for Jada. So yeah, very impressive performance from Jada Parker here on her, I guess, technically main roster debut. She's not officially a part of Raw. She just took this open challenge. And yeah. Well, I may have spoken too soon, of course, because I said she's not officially a part of Raw, but then, you know, after this match, Nova celebrates, you know, she's holding her jaw, she's still feeling the effects of that slap from the start of the match. When we do cut, like, after ads, and Jada is backstage, and Kathy Kelly's there. She goes, Jada Parker, NXT to the main roster, big premium live event, you entered that open challenge, you came up short tonight. She goes, I did, and what? Listen here. I didn't go over, but I got over, okay? These people now around the world know my name. Because I've been held down in NXT for far too long, and I'm the next big thing. So I may not be the champion right now, but you can bank on it. 2025, Jada Parker's going to hold some gold here on WWE. Then Bobby Roode goes, what a mindset to have. You know, it reminds me a lot of young women I've seen come through these doors over the years. You know, Jada, tomorrow's a big night for the Raw Women's Division. Tonight is the announcement of bracketology for the WWE Intercontinental Championship for the women, which will kick off this Monday night on Raw, the Women's Intercontinental Climax. And I'm still finalizing some of the impressive names on this division. And I took notice of you tonight. That's all I'll say. And she sort of just laughs. Like Chuck Sesson goes, been in one night, Kathy, already making a statement. Like I said, not champion, but now everybody knows who the damn hell I am. Adam Cole vs. Warden hype video. ECW Championship on the line. Cole retained clean against Jey Uso at High Voltage. Warden earned this opportunity by beating Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago, thanks to the help of Solo Sikoa. They had a very... Well, they didn't go face-to-face. They had a very, two promos heading into this match. Scathing promos. Adam Cole talking about how his career and how he beats... He's overcome the odds. Warden about how this is just, business for him to get back that championship he was robbed of back in December of last year. Can he do it? Have to find out. 88. So, the numbers I'm seeing on my screen here. Both men scored 88s. The wrestling rating got 88 and the segment rating got 88, but the crowd got 90. So, And Adam Cole, given the situation here, and this was done on purpose and by design, Adam Cole can wrestle this match as a babyface because he's very much the smaller guy against the big evil heel who we hate because, he doesn't like my tribal chief. Even though he's well within his rights to hate the bloodline. But he's also a bit of a hypocrite because he should also hate Solo. But yes. And Adam Cole does give it his all. He hits the boom on Warden. Warden kicks out. Warden hits a powerbomb on Adam Cole. Adam Cole manages to kick out of that. And in the end, Adam Cole goes to hit another boom on Warden. Warden ducks. He turns Adam Cole inside out of a lariat. He drops the straps. He nails a trio of power bombs on Adam Cole. And he pins him to become the new ECW World Champion. Finally, after 10 months, that monkey is off Warden's back. He's once again back on the top of the mountain. The ECW World Champion, 2-time ECW ECW World Champion. The first 2-time ECW Women's Champion. I keep saying women's. Why do I keep saying women's? ECW World Champion of this iteration of the belt is Warden. And he takes the belt. He walks out with the belt. Adam Cole gets to his feet. You know, he's looking around all sad. Adam Cole Bebe's story has come to an end. When the Paragon's music hits, and out walks Cesaro, out walks the Fritz brothers, JC Jane, and Dolph. Dolph Ziggler is free from prison. You know, I very much wanted to keep him there because I think it's funny, but I absolutely understand why you all wanted me to free him, so here he is. If Nathan Fraser wasn't also in prison, I probably would have kept him in, but also 15 years is also very ridiculous. But hey-ho, I asked, and I never once got a comment that said keep him in there, so he's out. But he'd been off screen anyway. But this is his return to TV for the first time since the, murder. And Ziggler gets into the ring. He gives Adam Cole a big hug. Because you did great. You did great. It was inspiring to see a guy with the Paragon be the world champion. And Adam Cole goes, "We were supposed to be our start, our beginning, and now it's over just like that. The story of Adam Cole, baby. It can't be over." And then Dolph, he pats Adam Cole on the shoulder. He goes, "Adam, I mentioned before I left that we were working on some special Paragon business that was a secret. And I think it's finally time to give you that secret." And Adam Cole looks confused and he goes, "What? Well, what is it, Dolph?" And he goes, "Look behind you." He turns around, Cesaro's just stood there. He goes, he's super confused, it's Swiss, what about Swiss? He turns around, bang, he's super kicked by Dolph Ziggler. Boo. And then the Paragon 4-on-1 maul Adam Cole. The Fritz brothers pick him up. Adam Cole nails a big uppercut on him. Dolph Ziggler hits him with a super kick. He grabs a steel chair. He starts swinging on Adam Cole with a steel chair. He then takes a seat and he mouths off to Adam Cole. He goes, "Your story is over. Story time of Adam Cole, baby, is ended. Thanks for letting me in. I love it here, and I'll make myself at home, and I will be ECW's true leader. I will lead the Paragon to where it needs to be." So Dolph Ziggler, back at WrestleMania, Adam Cole beat Dolph Ziggler thanks to the interference of Cesaro to force him to join the Paragon. And here we are 6 months later, and he usurped Adam Cole, and Adam Cole is out. Hype video. AJ Styles, Montez Ford. WWE Championship. Tez's rise back to the top has taken place over the last couple of weeks. He took Gunter to his limit during the tournament, and then Gunter, beat him, went on to Bash and Berlin, became the champion, lost it 2 weeks later to AJ Styles in a TLC match thanks to some Giovanni Vinci fuckery. But here we are, it's AJ Styles, Montez Ford, WWE Championship on the line in our semi-main event. 94. Let's go. That is probably going to end up being better than Dakota and Charlotte, but for reasons, obviously, Dakota was going on last. But yes, Montez Ford, AJ Styles. And something I did want to do in this specific match here is, I sort of wanted the overarching story here to be the old gunslinger versus the youthful, athletic one. Every time AJ Styles would go to hit a springboard 450, Montez Ford would do something equally as, ridiculous. And you can see, it seems like AJ's starting to realize that, there is a new generation coming up, and he's got to step up his game. He wants to hang with them. He was almost hand in the WWE Championship thanks to, Giovanni Vinci shenanigans. So he's got to work extra hard to keep a hold of it. And he does go for the phenomenal forearm. He nails a phenomenal forearm on Montez Ford. Gets the 1, 2, Montez Ford kicks out. AJ's getting frustrated now. He goes back outside, he goes to hit another phenomenal forearm. Montez Ford plucks him out of the air of an enziguri. And then Tez, he gets all fired up, he goes to shake the ropes. And he goes up to the top rope. He flies halfway across the ring. And he hits that huge frog splash on AJ Styles. Cover. 1, 2. And the referee's dragged out of the ring by a man in a hoodie whose face is covered up. And Tez, he looks confused. He's like, what the hell happened? And he looks outside, and the man, takes his hoodie down. It's Angelo Dawkins glaring angrily back across at Montez Ford. Tez like, Dawkins! Dawkins, what you doing out here? What you doing out here, man? Like he leans outside the ropes to go and try and shout at Angelo. And Angelo Dawkins clocks him with some brass knuckles. Montez Ford collapses to the floor. Dawkins, just stood on the outside, just staring into the ring, expressionless. As AJ Styles goes back onto the outside apron, he hits another phenomenal forearm on Montez Ford. 1, 2, 3. Very heel-heavy couple of matches here, but, that's how I book, brother. Heat. 90 for AJ Styles, 87 for Montez Ford. And, yeah, Angelo Dawkins was in New Zealand because he just did that media tour. And something in him has awoken. And he's just cost his former tag team partner the WWE Championship here tonight. Why, Angelo? Why? We go to ads off that. We come back and AJ Styles is approached by Kathy Kelly. Because Kathy Kelly here, AJ Styles of great defense of the WWE Championship just now. He goes, I told you, Kathy, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the WWE Champion for a reason. A lot of people didn't like that I won this championship the way that I won it. But tonight, I proved why I am the WWE Champion. I will still be the WWE Champion for a long, long time. Kathy goes, well, what are your thoughts on what we saw Angelo Dawkins do out there tonight? And AJ looks confused. He goes, Angelo Dawkins? Kathy, you're supposed to have a journalism degree. That was Montez Ford. You got the wrong street profit on the brain, Kathy. Okay? Montez Ford was the one I did out there tonight. And look, he's a good kid. And maybe one day in the future he'll be back on top of this world as a WWE Champion. But that won't be anytime soon because this will be the house that AJ Styles owns for as long as I can remember. Because, make no mistake about it, whether it's Gunther, whether it's Montez Ford, or hell, even Cody Rhodes, or anyone else, I've proven why I am the WWE Champion, that I am the undeniable, undisputed, best WWE Champion. On Monday night, we're going to welcome it in. The era of AJ Styles is going to keep rolling on. And we're going to celebrate the career of the Phenomenal One. Hype video. Main event time. Charlotte and Dakota. Dakota got the win over Charlotte thanks to a small package at Bad Blood. And Charlotte has, since Bad Blood, targeted that knee of Dakota Kai, historically surgically repaired. Yeah. Dakota's basically entering this match with one leg. She was training with Israel Adesanya. She's been practicing her submission holds. But can she make the Queen tap out here tonight? 92 rated big entrance. I don't know a lot about New Zealand culture. The only thing I do know is we'll have a group haka on the stage before she comes out, which is weird because in WWE lore, the haka is seen as like a Samoan thing because of the Usos, but it's a New Zealand thing. I guess it's just a Pacific Island thing in general, but yeah, big haka from a bunch of New Zealand people, some New Zealand themes. You got a flag, around her. And yeah, main event time, Dakota Kai, home country, hometown, defending the World Championship. Never mind, 93. So that's only one rating worse than, what was the 94? AJ and Montez Ford, yeah. But yes, 19 minutes and 1 second, Dakota Kai and Charlotte. So from the get-go, the very first move of the match is Dakota's, taking in the crowd, The crowd's cheering her on, chanting whatever the big New Zealand chants are. They don't qualify for many World Cups, so I'm not too familiar. But, whatever the New Zealand cultural chant is, they're doing that. And she's, taking it in. You can see she's emotional as they do it. And then Charlotte will kick her in the knee to a chorus of boos. And that's the first move. So right from the get-go, Charlotte's working over this knee that she's been working over for the last couple of weeks. Yeah. And Charlotte is very aggressive here. I don't know if they do this in real life. I think they did, but don't anymore, but I'm not sure. Submission matches, at least in the old video games, used to be no DQ, because, the only way to win is by submission. So you can't win by DQ or count out. So Charlotte will grab a chair and start unloading on Dakota Kai's knee. And about 16 minutes into the match, he locks in the figure 8. Dakota's screaming in pain. She's fighting off the urge to, any normal person would have tapped out at this point, but the crowd is reeling her on. And she does eventually reach the ropes to a huge pop. And Charlotte, as soon as she reaches the ropes, she stomps her arms, drags her back into the center of the ring, goes for a figure 4 again, locks in the figure 8 again. And Dakota's beaten, but she doesn't tap. She fires up, the crowd's firing her up, she sits up, she screams in Charlotte's face. They start exchanging strikes while Dakota's still locked into the figure 8. And Dakota does manage to break free. She hits the scorpion kick on Charlotte. And then she locks her into a triangle choke. Charlotte is, she's trying to fight free. And then, as Charlotte's almost broken free, Dakota, adjusts her leg. Grabs a hold of her ankle, pushes Charlotte's head down into the triangle choke. Charlotte's been caught once again. And she slowly, fades away before submitting to a huge pop. We did it. Dakota Kai still the Women's World Champion. Defense number 8 of the Women's World Championship. Fun fact is that her and Florence both hit... I think it was on Wednesday. They both hit 200 days as the champion. Because they both won on Mania Night 1. So yeah, they both hit 200 days on Wednesday. So they're now at 203 and counting, it seems. Because Dakota Kai does retain the championship here tonight. 89 for Dakota Kai, 95 for Charlotte Flair. And yeah, big win for Dakota. And we then get a big celebration. Candace comes out. Dakota's family is in the front row. Her friends are in the front row. Blue confetti is coming down to the ring. And, big celebration. Pyro's going off. Dakota's emotional. She hoists the women's championship up high. And then she, gestures for a microphone. And she takes the mic. And she's like, I'm sorry, guys in the back. I know we're running late, but I need to say a couple of things before we go off tonight. Being a fan of wrestling in New Zealand when I was growing up, wasn't the most common thing in the world. Hell, there was no chance that a girl from New Zealand could ever make it to WWE. We had the Bushwhackers and that was it. We had our joke tag team, but they were popular, but they weren't taken incredibly seriously. They weren't putting New Zealand on the map. And to sit here tonight, on top of the world, the Women's World Champion, in front of my hometown people, my friends, my family, everyone that I loved, and, quite frankly, tens of thousands of people in here who I've never met in my life, but we all share this one same bond. It's being born here. It's looking to break boundaries here. Now, like I said, there's thousands of people here I've never met before in my life, but every single one of you right now feels like family to me. Tonight, what a show. We brought our A game for my people, and I couldn't be more proud. Jay White, Blair Davenport, both of them too, came out here and gave their very best. But all those years of me thinking it was impossible that I'd ever make it to WWE because of, being in New Zealand and WWE was in America, and how would a girl like that even get noticed to go over there, to being at the forefront of this company as we come for our very first ever premium live event in my home country, in my hometown. It's enough to make a girl cry, I'm going to be honest. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you so much for the past 5 years here in WWE. And here's to a whole lot more. And hopefully another big PLE in New Zealand. Who knows? Maybe WrestleMania one day. She sort of laughs and looks back and goes, they're not gonna appreciate that one in the back. But anyway, thank you all so much. Get home safe. And I know, some big New Zealand cultural sign-off.
Bow down to the queens.
Omega.
When the music of Cammy interrupts. And she goes, oh my god, that speech, it was, like you said, it was enough to make a girl cry. Now, Dakota, look at you. Look at where you've come. From last year, and you temporarily joining my side, to now, you've grown so much. You're one of the top stars here in WWE. You've held that championship since WrestleMania. What an accomplishment. And now in your hometown, you stand here still, the Women's World Champion. Now, some of us aren't having such a great time right now. Well, Queendom Omega have dominated everything we touched since August. Tonight we didn't get those tag team championships, and it's a little bit disappointing, if I do say so myself. But, Dakota, from the bottom of my heart, and you're gonna call me a liar the second I say these words, but I'm so happy that you stand here as the Women's World Champion right now. To be honest, nobody ever expected you to get this far and last this long as the champion, and you've defied every single odd that was ever stacked against you, to the point now where calling you an underdog, it almost feels silly. But, times change, things happen, and terrible, terrible things are afoot for SmackDown. So, Queendom Omega will need to be back on top, because we're the only people equipped to stop these terrible things from happening to this brand. And with that, Dakota, it's nothing personal, but I would be lying if I said that it being you and it being here didn't give me a kick. So before we leave tonight, it's time for some audience participation. You feel free to join in, Dakota, if you want to. They say that a villain only shows his hand and only tells the world his master plan in one situation. Does anybody know what that situation is? And Dakota, takes the mic. She sort of looks at you, she's like, when they think that they've already won. And then she's clocked from behind by the Money in the Bank briefcase, held by Utami Hayashishita. Candice LeRae sort of sees this. She goes to try and jump on Utami. Julia and Yoko come into the ring. They, hold Candice back. They don't lay Candice out, but they hold her in the corner, and Candice into the ring shouting, go, no, no, no. Dakota gets to her feet. Utami clocks the briefcase off her skull once again. And then she hands the briefcase to Cammy. And Cammy takes the briefcase over to ringside. She's cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase. The bell rings. And Utami picks up Dakota with a hijack bomb. The crowd stunned into silence. They can't believe what they're seeing. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, we have a new Women's World Champion. Utami Hayashishita cashes in Money in the Bank and wins the Women's World Championship. The crowd, stunned, silent. Candice LeRae dumped to the outside. Dakota Kai down in the middle of the ring. From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. Utami holds the belt up high. The Megasis holds her belt up high. And Cammy stands in between both of them, just laughing. And she points to the camera. She goes, "See us next week, huh? Feel free." 92. Yes. And thus ends the Auckland Assault, the first ever premium live event in New Zealand. In a sick way, I gave the fans everything they wanted, and then also, I managed to get both that feel-good ending and that heartbreaking ending in. And I've got a fucking sicko smile on my face, because yeah. And yes, that ends the final premium live event. The next PLE is Survivor Series War Games in Detroit in 4 weeks' time. Yes. But first, you know what time it is. We've got to go to our post-show scrum, where I don't think anybody was off their game tonight because I got an Inspire speech to use before the start of the show. So everybody did really good. But yes, it's media scrum time. Oh, never mind. Oh, somebody did have an off night tonight, and it was our World Heavyweight Champion, Xavier Woods. How concerned are you by the off night that Xavier Woods had? Boy, if this was last month at Bad Blood, I'd have a lot to say about this comment, but I actually didn't mind it tonight. I didn't really pay much attention to it, and I didn't notice it at all. So, yeah, he had to give him a break. A big date in the WWE calendar, Survivor Series, almost upon you. Are your plans finished for the historic show? Let me tell you, buddy, they have been for like 6 months. As you've noticed, things are picking up as we head towards Survivor Series. We're bringing our A game for this one. I wasn't. Jey Uso got like a 96. Warden won the ECW Heavyweight Championship. Could have a long reign. I have a lot of faith in him. As everyone knows, Dolph Ziggler is currently in jail. We saw him on this fucking show. No comment, brother. Word is that Wes Lee is extremely happy with life in WWE. He should be, because he's had a really good push recently, and he's been impressing me a lot. Even though he didn't win the championship. He's a favourite of mine. Roman Reigns is extremely... yep, okay. He's also a favourite of mine. It was appreciated. He wasn't happy, he just appreciated it. Okay, what's going on now? The Rock, Jimmy J, Matt Anoa'i, Rikishi was of course happy, but he probably would have been angry if I would have said anything about Jay. Bray Wyatt was pleased with my response. Okay. Sure. Oh, well, nobody was angry. Everybody loves Roman, okay. Karrion Kross is noticeably extremely happy. Is he? I mean, I'm glad he's having a good time. Okay, media scroll has been completed. They would ask me about how happy Karrion Kross was. Nice. But yes, I'll see you next time for... Actually, no, I was going to say next time for Raw. It technically won't be, because there will be the ECW, the Women's Intercontinental Championship Climax Bracketology video, which won't be an episode. So episode 60 will be Raw. But yeah, I want to make this sort of like a big deal, this upcoming tournament. So yeah, I will be going through it all in a separate video, and that'll be the next video uploaded. See you then.